Trick or treat. What's up, guys? I just needed to give you that little pause to like figure out what's going on here. This is Halloween, the week of creepiness, all leading up to Halloween. So we decided to get in the creepy spirit, and we're the creepiest things you guys could imagine.
Peanut butter.
Jelly.
Together we're a sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
We're a sandwich of Warhammer 40K lore for your viewing pleasure.
Right.
Or listening pleasure, because a lot of you guys paint while you listen to us ramble about nothing, really.
That's right. So let's take a bite out of this sandwich as we dive into For the Greater.
This is a video series where we answer the questions left by you, the viewer. If you have a question for us, just comment down below. Make sure to put question before your question, because we get those questions first.
Right.
Sorry, the peanut butter is like messing with me. I actually don't like peanut butter all that much, or peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, really. But you guys do, so
Yeah.
thank you.
I used to eat peanut butter jelly sandwiches at work all the time.
You would make them at work or just bring them with?
Make them. Because if you bring them, then they get soggy and like nasty.
Yeah. What are the ones that are pre-made? The
those?
Smuckers?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't like Smuckers because there's no, I was about to say trim. There's no crust.
I like crust.
Yeah.
So this question comes from Miguel Perez. Has anyone tried to make a demi-Primarch, like trying to change the DNA of a Space Marine and make it significantly more similar to a Primarch? No, that hasn't ever happened in the lore that I know of. That would be considered extreme heresy.
Right, to the utmost degree. Because this is something that literally the Emperor created, like Picasso creating many of his work of arts.
Yeah, basically. So it's almost like that, and it's illegal.
Yeah.
The technology used by the Emperor to create his Primarchs, some of it came from Terra, some of it came from Mars, some of it came from Luna, with their whole gene labs and stuff like that. But ultimately, all of that is sacred information that can only be accessed by the Emperor and whoever he helps him, basically.
Right.
The closest thing is Belisarius' Call. And his attempt to, or not attempt, because he
did it, yeah.
Perfected the Space Marine gene seed and created more gene seed organs, aka the Primaris Marines.
Right. That's why Primaris is so close sounding to Primarch.
Yes.
But yeah, Chaos has also done stuff like that with Fabius Bile, creating clones of Horus and whatnot, but they're failed clones. Nothing to the point of what Belisarius Call did with the Primaris Marines. So there's that to think of. But who knows? Maybe with more Primarchs coming out, they'll get their gene seed stolen, or their something or other will happen, and maybe we'll get some cloned Primarchs.
Yeah.
But I think that kind of like diminishes the integrity and just like rarity of being a Primarch.
That's true. Yeah. Next question.
This one is by Iraq9. What if the missing Primarchs never existed? Think about how hard it would be to remove every trace of not one, but 2 legions, both physically and mentally, versus implanting memories in a few key people and building some fake ones. Some parents make up stories to their kids about siblings that aren't around anymore because they didn't listen or behave. The Phantom Legions are stories constructed to keep demigods in line. Listen to Father, or you'll end up like your brothers. The ones we don't talk about anymore. The ones we can't remember.
That's a really cool concept, and if that's true that parents do that, that's fucked up.
Yeah, dude.
That's traumatizing.
Yeah, if anything, I can see it like, don't go into the river because La Llorona is there.
Yeah.
But like to say, hey, you had a brother.
And now he's dead.
Yeah, like that's mentally scarring.
All because he didn't want to eat the crust off of the sandwich.
Smuckers.
But that's crazy. I'm still stuck on that concept that people would do that to their kids.
Yeah. I don't think they did this because certain Primarchs do still have their memories that they could recall. Like Horus and Sanguinius spoke about the missing Primarchs. In one of the novels, I believe it was Dorn it was Malcador who was talking to Dorn, and something about like he had to like mess with his memory so that Dorn wouldn't remember the Lost Legions. So
yeah.
Also the Plinths, they existed, so that's another means of actual physical evidence that they were there. And then you also hear stories of like the Ultramarines, they gained a whole bunch of legionnaires out of nowhere. That could be after the Edict of Obliteration, and those that stayed true to the Imperium, they got indoctrinated into the Ultramarines Legion. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of theories, a lot of little like speculations, but at the same time, there's a lot of concrete evidence that also supports that belief.
Yeah. Also, why would you want to create two? Like, why not just say one of the, like, if you are making it up and there is no lost Primarch, why not just say it's one?
Right. Maybe two just makes it sound more real. Like it happened and then they didn't listen, so this is what happened to this one.
Again, that just seems, I think, yeah, that seems a little bit of a stretch. But yeah, I think you hit it
Hit the nail on the head.
basically with that there still exist bits and pieces of the lore and of the history of the two lost Primarchs.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I really enjoy GW doing, because they could have just said, no, here's all the lore.
Yeah.
Or they could have said, no, these never existed. But no, the little inklings and whatnot really help to bring in homebrew and just leave the mind wanting more.
Yeah. Next question comes from Brian B. Could you master Biomancy to make yourself a perpetual?
I thought you were going to say something else.
Can you master... what is Biomancy again?
So Biomancy is the thought or the process or the discipline of using the warp powers to your advantage to basically fuse and control the body, the bio life. So Biomancy, you could do like Iron Arm. That was an actual Biomancy type psychic ability that lets your arm become steel. So you could punch things harder or block from attacks. But I don't think they could go as far as doing stuff to make you Primarch level.
Well, that and like Primarchs aren't perpetuals. The only one is Vulcan, right?
Right.
And
But, yeah, because I was going to say like most Primarchs would be perpetuals, but no, that's incorrect.
And I think what it is too is like you have to be born with the perpetual
Gene or whatever it is. Yeah.
Because if you're using something else to make yourself live longer, that doesn't mean you're a perpetual. That just means you're on point.
Right.
Kind of like a Belisarius Skull.
Yeah. So let's say there is some type of Biomancy ability that makes you age slower or de-age yourself. Some way, somehow, you're still going to die.
Yeah.
Just because technically you could use psychic powers to live forever doesn't mean some outside source won't behead you or an orc invasion will capture you or something like that.
Which is why orcs are not considered perpetuals. Technically, they can just keep living, but they don't because of their constant war and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Same thing with what are like Space Marines, kind of. Even though like the average space of a Space Marine is only 1,000 years, which I think is really short.
In the span of 40K, yeah.
Yeah.
This next one, or did we get all the?
Yeah.
Okay. This next one is also from Iraq. He says, bonus homebrew question. Ignoring the question above, how would you feel about one of the missing Primarchs being a young version of the Emperor himself? A backup, made before the Unification Wars even started. Because the Big E had to know that he was stepping into a galaxy of threats, so he made a younger clone of himself. Still young and idealistic, but not knowing his true name or purpose. Until now. An echo of what the Imperium and the Emperor at a very beginning could be. Also, didn't you ever wonder who the Grey Knight Primarch was? So, quick answer to that one, it's the Emperor. Grey Knights got their gene seed from the Emperor directly.
Yeah. Wait, that's your bonus stuff, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, if one of the lost Primarchs was a clone of a young Emperor, that would make the Primarch like god level.
Yeah.
That'd be way too strong.
Also, and just like for the story element of it, I think that's kind of it's just bad. Like the Emperor of Mankind is supposed to be the God Emperor, this amazing being that like everybody talks about. The dude is dying on the golden throne basically, and yet people still like venerate him. They fear him. They want his protection. They also want to be protected from his wrath and stuff like that. And then to say like, oh, and he has a brother or he has like a clone.
Yeah.
That kind of like
Right.
Brings it down a little bit.
Right, because again, the same thing that we mentioned with the Primarchs, like they're supposed to be the few, the brave, the proud, the Primarchs.
Yeah. It's like if another like Pitbull style musician came out, no, you want to stick with the original Pitbull. Whatever happened to him?
I think after COVID, he decided to go from Mr. Worldwide to Mr. Quarantine. So that's why we don't hear from him anymore.
Yeah, but two Mr. Worldwides, No.
There's only one world, and it's only big enough for one pit bull.
Exactly. Same thing with the Emperor.
Yeah.
Next question.
This one is by... Oh, that's not a question. But we'll say it anyway. Ryan S. says, love the background art. Also, love One Mind Syndicate. I paint to your vids weekly. Keep up the good fight, governors.
Oh, yeah. Why'd you call us governors?
Are you from across the pond?
That's cool that you listen to us while you paint. That's what I need to do. I need to do more things in the hobby. This room is full of just a bunch of started projects that never went anywhere.
But that means you're halfway done to a lot of projects.
Or I'm just never... Yeah, no, you're right. I should...
You gotta look at it on the bright side.
Yeah.
Even though it's cloudy, rainy, cold outside, we're wearing half sandwiches on our bodies.
Yeah, the weather's starting to get pretty bad outside, and what is it? Seasonal depression is probably going to kick in. Mm-hmm. So in order to combat seasonal depression, I usually just get really into like the minis and the hobbies, or because Christmas is coming up. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna make myself a nice little Christmas list and be like, buy me all this stuff, and then they're gonna be like, look at your closet. Do you really want miniatures?
That's when you close the closet.
Yeah, but there's new orcs.
Oh, that's true. This next question is by first name, last name. So, since it's October, can we finally hear about the haunted restaurant you guys worked on? If you don't, then use a hoe.
Oh, damn, that's a throwback.
That is a throwback.
You've been watching our Greater WAAAGH.
Mm-hmm.
So, the Sound Alchemist and I used to work at Walter Payton's Roundhouse. It's in Aurora, Illinois.
Yeah, it used to be an old train yard that got renovated into I was about to say a bus station. It's still kind of like a train yard, bus station, restaurant. There's a bar there. Like, you picture it, like, it's got it.
Yeah. They had a UFC style fight in the middle of like the round part. Yeah. And it was basically like the trains would come from Chicago. They would stop at the roundhouse. They would spin and then send them back.
Kind of like Spin the Bottle, but with trains.
Yeah, and building it, people died. So like there used to be a section in the restaurant where they had a bunch of pictures of the people who were like just posing after construction and stuff like that, and some of them were missing arms, and some of them were like not well because building that entire thing was almost like
taxing.
Yeah, like hive worlders working in a manufactorum. Mm-hmm. They didn't have unions back then, or maybe they did. I don't know. But yeah, there was just a lot of rumors that there was ghosts there because of those people that died. Mm-hmm. And I think the scariest one that actually happened to me is I was upstairs in the guys' locker room. I think it was towards the end of the shift. I used to like get out of work around like 2 a.m, and I felt like somebody touched my hand, or with their hand touched my back. And I thought it was just another one of the guys, like maybe the Sound Alchemist or another one of my coworkers. So I turned around and there was nobody there. And that's when I like got this like chill down my spine, and I got out of there. I just ran away.
You ran?
Yeah. And it sucks too because there were stairs, and I jumped like 10 of the stairs towards the bottom.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Because he wasn't used to getting touched in the back.
No.
He was much lower.
Mm-hmm. Much lower.
Yeah, I don't really remember anything like scary to that point, like nothing touching me, but I always heard stories. And the one thing that kind of like I saw it happen, and like I'm just like I don't believe it, but like it could have been something. It was like 1 o'clock in the morning. We were getting ready to close and everything. There was just a few people just cleaning basically, and from across the roundhouse, since it's round, you could kind of see the whole place. You saw that one of the lights turned on, and you saw somebody in one of the offices like moving around. I mean, yeah, it could have been just a normal person, but they're like, hey, there shouldn't be anybody over there. Everybody's on this side of the roundhouse.
It was Chella stealing our tips.
Yeah. But again, like people were saying, oh, it's a ghost. See, it's true. But it's like, probably not.
Yeah.
But, you hear stories. People like to embellish these type of things. And that's how you bring in clientele. Ooh, it's haunted.
Yeah. I'm surprised that they haven't done like a tour. Like
they did that for
thing.
a little bit, but then they stopped. And then they did it. It would pick up every now and then.
Good question, though.
Yeah.
Next question.
Big Earl says, have you guys ever thought about putting wah to a bass beat, making a wah rap song?
I don't have the skills for that, but we could hire it out.
Mm-hmm.
Next one. I have one from the big one. When my homie Stabby gets out of prison in 2026, can he come live with you guys? Stabby is just a nickname. He's only stabbed 2 people. Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like somebody who has committed a crime probably won't commit the same crime right away.
Yeah.
So, yeah, sure, you can come live with us.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Next question.
This one's by Caboose NZ69. Do you know why a loud Aussie has it in for your channel? Just make sure you don't mention sheep around them. They're a bit touchy about that subject.
What's up with Australians and sheep? Now I'm interested. I'm going to Google that later.
Speaking of that, have you seen or will you see that one movie called Lamb?
I'm not. I heard really bad reviews.
Oh.
Or, yeah, I saw that it wasn't that good. Have you seen it?
No, but like when I went to go watch The Green Knight, since it's from the same studio, A24, they were like showing it, and I'm like, this looks like psychological horror. It could be something pretty interesting.
I don't want to spoil it for you because I think the review kind of spoiled it for me.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I don't think I'm gonna watch.
All right. But yeah, sheep, lambs, goats. They have weird eyes. Have you ever seen a goat's eye?
Yeah, I've eaten a goat's eye.
Oh.
But yesterday, I was hanging out with some friends, and they were talking about how New Orleans is basically the U.S.'s version of, like, Australia. And I was like, what do you mean? And then they were like, well, you know how in Australia, the U.K. was basically just shipping all the people that they didn't want, or all the troublemakers to Australia.
A penal colony.
Yeah.
Penal.
The same thing was happening to Louisiana, or, well, specifically New Orleans. So I was like, oh damn, I didn't know that.
Is that why Mardi Gras is a thing?
Yes. That and Catholicism.
Ah.
Good old Catholicism, the biggest influence on 40K. Not really, it's Dune, but
right. Speaking of Dune, have you guys seen it yet? It should be out by the time this comes out. So.
It's meh.
Right. I won't say much since it's so early on, but give it a watch.
Yeah. It's kind of cool that you get all of that on all the streaming platforms, basically. Like, if there's a new movie coming out, you don't have to go to the movie theaters. You could just watch it while you're, jerking it. I don't know.
A all the way to Z says, you studied philosophy at college? You have to either work as a teacher, a social worker, or Walmart. You are 100% correct, sir. Because every time I would say, yeah, I'm minoring in philosophy, people would be like, well, you want to be a teacher? I'm like, no. He's like, then what do you want to do? I'm like, I guess I'm not doing anything with that. Because honestly, what can you do with with that?
I think, like, if you are creative, and maybe this is a bias because of the channel, but you can create, like, pretty badass, like, what's that one channel where, like, they review different things. Like, they reviewed Rick and Morty, and they explained, like, the relationship between time and Rick and Morty and stuff like that. But if you have that background, if you have that history, you could pick off, like, different things in different universes and be like, LeConte said this, so they're doing kind of like Squid Games. I've seen a lot of people review Squid Games based on, like, a philosophical background and stuff like that, and it's cool. I watch them.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see, like, pop culture and how certain philosophical and, like, physiological, like, topics and themes are prevalent throughout that.
But now that I think about it, that is kind of teaching.
It is, yeah. Teaching to an audience that isn't directly there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Welcome to my TED Talk.
And then this is going to be the last question by Noah Westergaard. What happened to the world leaders that stayed loyal to the Emperor? They became the Carcharodons. I think I said that. I think that's my theory. They say that the Carcharodons are, I think, successor chapters of Dorne, or what's Corvus Corax.
Yeah.
One of those two.
But to me, it doesn't make sense. Like,
no.
You see how different their themes are, but
yeah. But Yeah, that's my theory.
Yeah, the other thing is that they did say that the the loyalists from the chapters that went renegade were often like first targeted by their own legion. So like I forgot what they were called. Warhounds, is that what they were called before they got the name changed? Yeah, so like those were picked off by their traitor brothers before they decided to attack all the other legions. So most of them did not survive.
Sadly. And those were the questions for today. If you guys have more questions for us, please comment down below. Thank you guys so much for listening. Happy Spook Week. I hope you guys are enjoying the spooky videos that are coming out.
Yeah. Stay subscribed because every day this week you have creepy videos leading up to a creepypasta video. So
this was Gershwin,
Sound Alchemist, and we are Peanut Butter Jelly.
Always used to put my freedom first in any situation.